11 o'clock as we await the arrival of a quorum, and I expect to have 7 of the trustees present today. The only absence is Melody Baker, who is in Paris on business today. But while we wait for others to arrive to take formal action, let's go around the room as we always do and introduce everyone present. Mark, you want to start?
Good morning. Mark Pachola, Chief of Campus Safety and Emergency Manager.
You like that music, Arda?
I didn't even know it was a message kid.
That was your cue.
My name is Arda Plana. I'm the comptroller.
Pauline, business manager.
Jen Bickler, Executive Director, ECC Foundation.
Colleen Reedy, Vice President of Student Affairs and Workforce Development.
Kim Philma, President of Student Sports Center.
Craig Harris Johnson, Executive Director of Marketing and Communications.
Eric Nemes, VP of Enrollment Management.
Maureen Ring, I'm the Director of HR Interim and Bureau Manager.
Janet Grant with Buffalo.
Adrian Rand, interim AVP of Academic Affairs.
I'm Derek G. from the Buffalo News.
Kelly Magliano, Assistant Director of Trustees.
Bob Tremoli, IT.
Ryan Noble, IT.
And Curley, trustee.
Candace Morrison, trustee.
Jeff Stone, trustee.
Adim Tagai, Officer in Charge.
Cameron Wood, the student trustee.
All right. There are, again, we want to have our quorum present before we take formal action. So I will start by giving my report as the chair, and we'll skip that later. The first thing I'd like to report on, and those of you who have been present at the various campus visits from presidential candidates, is the update on the search for a permanent president of SUNY Erie Community College. And whenever I mention this subject, I want to make sure to underscore and reiterate our support for our officer in charge, Dr. Adem Sagai, and her entire leadership team. Hello, Amanda. And appreciate the work that has been done in the last year in that role as officer in charge. But we are, of course, in the need for a permanent president. And again, for some of you, this is something you've heard before, but the search committee was convened in the spring. We've conducted a number of months worth of work. We received, as a group, assisted by AGB Search out of Washington, 51 applications for the position of permanent president of SUNY Erie. The 22-person search committee, drawn from all elements of the campus community and the broader community, winnowed that list of 51 down to 8 semifinalists. And at that point, those 8 were interviewed by the entire search committee at length. At the conclusion of that interview process, a voting decision, good morning, Len, was held, and 4 semifinalists or finalists were chosen to be advanced to the college community to make presentations to the college community and to be interviewed at even greater length by the Board of Trustees. And that process took place in mid-September, since we last had our meeting. I was very, very pleased, as you've heard me say before, with the makeup of the search committee, with the work that the search committee put in, with the way the college community responded when the candidates were on campus. People were present online. They were given tours. All 4 candidates were, I think, enthusiastic in their pursuit of the position and very thoughtful in their remarks to us as trustees and to the broader college community. So to bring everyone up to date, the Board of Trustees held a special meeting within the last week or so. I think it was last Tuesday, at which we considered the matter, and we have sent one particular name on to SUNY as our recommendation. And we've been asked, really ordered by SUNY, to remain, completely mum in terms of the identity of that person, pending the process that happens at the SUNY level, which is to have SUNY interview that person, conduct background checks, satisfy themselves that this is an appointment that SUNY can endorse and support. We are hopeful that that endorsement and support of our recommended candidate will occur in late October, but that has not been officially confirmed yet. With that as our hoped for timetable and what we may expect. So that's the update on the search. And again, I'd like to particularly thank the 4 trustees, Carrie, Len, Melody, and myself were part of the search committee, and there were 18 others drawn from, again, a wide variety of positions, leadership positions throughout the college and the community. And it was a great deal of work that those folks put in. And I think the college community will be very pleased with the outcome of that process. I don't know if any other trustees wish to, add anything to what I've said.
No, I'd just like to add that, Jeff, your leadership, as Ken pointed out last week, was amazing. It was just thorough, considerate of everyone involved, and you deserve actually a round of applause for the great job you did.
Well, thank you, and again, thanks to everyone involved in that really, really excellent process. It's going to yield a good result. We now, I believe, have 7 trustees present as predicted. So with that, I'd like to convene the meeting officially and ask Secretary Carrie Phillips to call the roll.
Melody Baker, is she online or no?
She is in Europe,
Okay,
and she's excused.
all right. Ken Cooley,
Here?
Len Lenahan,
Here?
Amanda Lau,
Here.
Candace Morrison,
Here.
Carrie Phillips here, Jeffrey Stone,
Here.
and Cameron Lloyd.
Here.
All right.
Good deal. For the benefit of the crowd, Cam has a hard stop at 11 for a psychology exam, so we're on the clock today.
Yes.
Thanks for making time this morning.
I appreciate it, not a problem.
And Jeff, just sorry to interrupt. Just to remind you, I have a hard stop at 11:30 as well. So
Cam's winning. We're gonna be done for Cam.
all right.
Just again, for the benefit of the broader group, I do not expect to have an executive session today, and I do expect this meeting will probably move along in a rather brisk manner. Let's start on that score by talking about the minutes. We had Board of Trustee minutes on August 17th, a regular meeting, and then, as I mentioned a minute ago, we had a special meeting on September 19th in which we took only that one action of identifying our selected candidate for permanent president of SUNY Erie. And if I may, I'll take a motion to approve both sets of minutes as presented with our materials.
So moved.
Thank you, Carrie. Second, Len? All in favor?
Aye.
Those are approved. We'll now move to committee items where we will hear reports from our committee chairs and in particular focus on those items that have been moved to the board for formal approval. First up is Ken Cooley, our chair of our Budget, Audit, and Facilities Committee. Ken?
Thank you, Jeff. The first item concerns the lease of some space at the South Campus that will be used by a hardware operation in relation to the stadium construction. It's unused space presently and will produce some revenue. Paul is able to answer any questions anybody might have.
We'll take all 4 of these items together, shall we?
Okay. The second and third are very similar, advanced studies agreements, one with Niagara Falls High School, the other with Olean High School. Dr. Sagai, would you like to comment on that?
Sure. This is again part of our effort to continue our relationship with the K-12. So we are expanding our opportunity to do that. We did get permission from colleges in that area to be in that location. So we have approval there. But this is to add to our K-12 relationships.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
The last item is the disposal of unneeded materials. There's 4 items altogether. They're all located at the South Campus. They're fully depreciated. There's really no use for them, and they'll be disposed of properly. So I think a motion would be in order to approve all 4 of these items.
Before we do take that motion, let me just ask for a little additional color on item 1. I'm going to ask Paul just to give briefly some thoughts on exactly what's going on with that item, and then Dr. Sagai, if you could give us your perspective on that. And not only this particular item, but it's always of interest to the board and the community how things are going with respect to our relationship with the Bills, the stadium construction, what's happening at South.
Sure.
This would be a good opportunity to touch on those subjects as well.
Sure.
So about 4, maybe 5 months ago, County Hardware approached us
about the possibility of utilizing space at South Campus for storage of hardware materials for the building of this new stadium. It's mostly like, I don't think it's really small nuts and bolts, but bigger nuts and bolts. And at that same time, the graphic arts program had been deactivated or was in the process of being deactivated. So we started the process of looking at their assets, getting them, the board approved the disposal of those assets a few months ago. So we went back and forth. We had, from a previous agreement, we had already established the fair market rate for the space. So we just applied that same market rate to this. It's basically a garage that the graphic arts used to be in. They have overhead doors so they can get their forklift in and out for bigger materials, and it's definitely a win-win for both parties. And I think we get approximately just under $2,900 in the first year, $3,000 a month the second year. So it's definitely I think advantageous for the college.
Yeah, we saw the figures in the materials passed out. It was, I think, yeah, 29,000 and out. Dr. Sagai, your perspective?
Sure. So this is again part of our effort to really maximize our space at South. We are very intentional about making sure that our instruction and our student services and our students are not being compromised. So we're very thoughtful about making sure that we dedicated about 3 of our buildings to really our students, but those buildings that are not being occupied, we want to make sure that we maximize those opportunities. So this is one of the many ways that we're really maximizing the building. In addition to that, we have Frontier High School that's also running one of our facilities. So we do have a big picture. It's a new initiative within Frontier High School that is also present there. So we're very much utilizing the space as much as possible to make sure that we're optimizing the resources that we have at the South Campus without compromising the educational experience of our students and faculty and staff in terms of resources.
Very good. Mark, I'd like to make mention of, I believe, if I understand it correctly, our security group was rather central in dealing with the incident involving the person who climbed into the pit at the second Bills game.
It is. Unfortunately, it's an ongoing investigation. We have charges pending, so I can't speak to it.
Right, fine. But to the extent you were involved, we appreciate ECC helping with that. All right. At this point then, unless there are other questions on the 4 items that Ken referred to, let's take a motion, please, to approve all of them.
So moved.
So moved. Thanks again. 1 second. All in favor?
Aye.
All any opposed? All right. Those items 1 through 4 as listed and distributed in our materials are approved. Next is Candace Morrison, Curriculum, Student Success, and Diversity, and you have 1 item for approval.
Yes. So we met earlier this month. There's 1 item for approval. It's another interesting item along with the automotive and auto tech. So I don't know if Erickson or Dr. Sagai, if you want to speak to it.
Adrian.
Or Adrian. Yeah, yes, please.
We were approached over the summer by Mazda North America to become a training partner with them to offer their Mazda Automotive Service Technician Training Program through our Automotive Technology Program at South Campus on 20A. So we met several times. The agreement that we talked about in the Curriculum and Student Success Subcommittee is the result of those discussions, which defines the obligations of both Mazda and us in terms of this. I believe that this is a wonderful opportunity for our students to have manufacturer-specific training for Mazda, because Mazda wants to have more automotive service technicians and they want us to be their training partner for this. It's really an in-kind donation. We have to identify space. We have an instructor who's already interested in becoming the certified training partner for Mazda, so Automotive Technology is on board with this.
Any questions or anything further, Candace?
Nothing further.
All right, then I'll take a motion to approve the item under 2B as
So moved.
presented. Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Next, Melody Baker is the chair of our Curriculum, Student Success, and Diversity Agenda, but And we do have this accommodation policy regarding pets and therapy animals. We talked about it last meeting and pushed it forward.
Yes.
Are we doing so again, or are we going? Are you taking it? We taking it up?
We're taking we're taking this up, and we did the necessary editing. I don't know, Maureen, if you would like to speak on that a little bit.
Sure.
Hello.
Hello, Marie.
We did have a meeting about it. Remember that, Ken, that we had that meeting about the emotional support animals, and we decided to go with the recommendations of the attorney that we spoke with to have it cover students only, our college policy, because employees are covered more by Title II. That's what we recommended, and that's what we did with the policy. We revised it to include that one.
That was the only
Yeah, I
modification
remember
that we-
reading it last month and not finding it objectionable and probably positive. So, all right. So it's a recommendation that we approve this, Dr. Sagai?
Yes,
Okay.
that's what we're at, the proposal.
All right. A motion then to approve the revised policy as presented.
So moved.
Second?
Second motion.
Okay, Ken. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That is approved. Anything else? I don't think, with Melody not being here, I don't think anything else is coming out of that committee.
That is correct.
There's also, Amanda, looks like we have an approval item, well, obviously the human resources agenda that we always get. Any comment from your committee on that, or any update?
No, just presenting the request for the approval. We have 6 individuals who we are asking to be approved for emeritus status, which is amazing, and I get the pleasure of making that motion. I would like to recognize these individuals: Patrina Hill Cheatham, Deborah Jenkins, Dorothy Johnston, Patricia Kaiser, Carol Mack, and Sheila Martin. These individuals have been with the college spanning from 16 to 39 years. And I just want to, this is an amazing achievement in their careers. They should be celebrated, and as part of our committee, we're going to be looking ways to promote them throughout the school year.
I'll lead the applause for that. And for those who may not be aware, this is pursuant to an emeritus policy that we do have in place, setting forth standards and procedures for granting emeritus status. It's not just handed out. It's a real accomplishment.
So I will make a motion to approve.
Approve our agenda. Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Those approved. Now we have some informational items, and we'll start with Chair Ken Crewley from the Budget Committee.
The first couple, the facilities rentals and supplier reports, have been distributed. There's nothing that pops out that is of any major concern. Third item, budget to actual dashboard. Everything is in order. Might ask, Arda, when do we expect to have at least a tentative end of the year, August wrapped up picture?
Well, the auditors are planning to be here December 1st. So we hope to have it closed. The goal is by October 31st to have everything done for August 2023. We have to prepare also the SUNY annual report, which also goes to SUNY before our auditors get on board. I think we are on the right track, especially this year, considering how we went live with Workday. The team is doing great. We're on track.
And the fund balance is now trending to what?
Yes, our fund balance is projected to be at $23 million as of 8/31/2023. This is again a preliminary number because we do have some year-end entries. For example, the bad debt, we record an estimate of how much students actually do owe the college each year. We also have the health and dental reconciliations that we perform. Our actual health and dental costs may vary at 8/31, and that's because we reconcile actual claims to our actual payroll that we charge our employees, and that entry can vary. But right now we're seeing a surplus, and LMHF, it's an indication of that we are seeing a positive trend as far as health claims. So we still have a few
Should be
entries
noted
left.
that we're the budget that we have for starting on September 1st included a little over $1 million of fund balance to balance it. So that theoretically might be used up, or it might be taken care of during the course of the year. But at the moment, at least, that's part of the picture.
For 23-24.
Right, correct.
Yes, for 22-23, we are actually generating a surplus, which is gonna add to our fund balance, that $23 million. But for the following year, which we are currently right now, we do project to use that $1 million. At this point in time, it was budgeted, but hopefully we are gonna keep a tight control on our costs, and
With some opportunities
Yes.
to reduce or eliminate the need for it.
yeah, that is correct.
Yes, it's good to keep an eye both on not only the unallocated fund balance, but also Ken's point of any structural imbalance that we have on an ongoing basis has to be monitored very closely. All right.
The financials for the medical insurance, Arda, do you have any comments on those?
We do not. Well, actually, right now, the report is showing that we are still trending on a positive, which means that our health claims are less than what we project to be, or LMHF, which means that employees are using less of our health insurances. So we are also meeting with HR to evaluate the rates for next year, and at this point, because we're seeing surpluses, we don't anticipate rate increases, but that has yet to be finalized. We're gonna meet with union presidents to review some of those potential costs or cost increases for the future.
Thank you. Next item refers to the chargeback rates between the colleges. Kathy, do you have anything, any updates or anything to report on that?
No, I don't.
Okay. And then, it's not exactly noted here, but just a point of reference, at the last budget committee meeting, we had a discussion about transportation fees and the transportation costs. And up until about 2 or 3 years ago, the fees collected from students were covering all of our transportation costs, which is the parking lot and the shuttles and the NFTA contract. At the moment, at least budget-wise, we're budgeting a loss of $325,000. The student fees are not covering that. And so we probably will be talking further in the budget committee about what we might be able to do about that. I mean, one option obviously would be to raise the fee, but maybe there's other options, and we're going to try and explore them. The contracts, though, are in place for the next 2 or 3 years, and so we don't have a whole lot of wiggle room on that subject.
I would add that I think when the new president is in place, one of the first things the Board of Trustees will ask that person to do is take a look at our entire transportation infrastructure. What we are doing, how we are moving students from one place to another, how inconvenient. We are aware of, student concerns about being on buses for a long time, having things be very difficult. It's just one more barrier that we, to the extent we can take steps to eliminate that or reduce that impact, we should. And that's a place where I think as a board we are content to spend some money, and we will see exactly how we should do that once it's thoroughly studied by the new president or his or her designee. All right, I think those are the final informational items. Thanks for mentioning that transportation. I'm glad you brought that up. I was in the committee meeting. We had a robust discussion of that. Next, Candace, we have your minutes listed there as informational items?
That's correct. So we discussed with the approval item, the main issue that was discussed at the last meeting. So the minutes are just presented for information.
Okay. And marketing, Len, any report or a rundown here?
We did meet. We discussed our ad campaign for the fall semester, sort of with an emphasis on moving from paid TV to more digital. Craig, I don't know if you wanted to add anything. It's pretty basic discussion. There were no approval items in the committee. Okay, thanks.
There's one thing that I'm interested in just talking a little bit about and asking Dr. Sagai her perspective on this. Sometimes something as basic as signage can be good marketing. And I thought, you know, we all turn right on Young's Road, right, to come to this meeting. And for, you know, my entire time on the board, it's been a rather stodgy old, you know, painted sign. Now it's a really pretty slick electronic sign. I must have seen, as I waited at the light, 6 different SUNY Erie related messages this morning. So I just was, you know, could you bring the group up and how that came about and what you expect out of that?
Absolutely. This was another team effort that the college really put forward, is really to highlight a lot of the things that we do day in and day out. Marketing was instrumental, facility was instrumental. Certainly the county has been very supportive in really helping us with the resources, so that's what you see. And so part of our goal is to make sure that the image of the college is really accurately represented, because we want to make sure our students and our faculty and our staff are really represented accurately. And so that sign, and plus many other signs we are working on, including some of the cafeteria, to ensure that our students and our faculty are in a space that is really conducive for learning. And so that's what you're seeing, and there's going to be more to come relating to sign. Image matters, so we want to reflect what we do at the college.
It's a nice upgrade.
Absolutely.
That's good. Melody Baker is in Europe, so we will simply accept the minutes from August 3rd from her committee as an informational item. Strategic planning and assessment. Carrie, any report? And we're taking your minutes from your last meeting.
Yeah, not much to report. After that last meeting where the minutes are there, we put into place our bridge strategic plan, which was kind of our big project that we've been working on. We'll probably shift to meeting once every 2 months now that we're sort of in between. But we'll talk about that further. We had to cancel or I should say change the date of our last meeting because it conflicted with some of the meetings for the presidential search. So we've rescheduled. We will meet before the next board meeting, and we will have more to report then.
Well, this is a good time, I think, to pick up on the congratulatory theme. That bridge strategic plan gets talked about every meeting, and as a result, sometimes it kind of just goes under the bridge. But that was a big piece of work. Kathy Colesto, Dr. Sakai, your committee, Carrie, really paying attention to that and making sure that we didn't take just leave ourselves adrift while we waited to get a permanent president in place. Instead, we have a plan that we can coordinate closely with SUNY on, that we can guide ourselves by, and that took so many pieces of input from the college community. Kathy, just particularly want to single out the work that you did. But Dr. Sagai, I know we're not going to simply let that drift. And Carrie, thank you for your committee. So really applause to the entire bridge strategic plan team. Glad to have it. All right. Talent, let's see. Talent. Yeah, go ahead. I mentioned the emeritus status, interestingly, earlier, but go ahead, Amanda.
Right, so we took the formal action on this. This is just for information only. This is, the policy is there, the transaction report, and then the minutes from our meeting where, in general, we were discussing upcoming negotiations with our negotiating partners at our AAECC and FFECC, as well as a couple additional agenda items, if anyone has any questions. But I think we covered the happy part with the emeritus.
Yes. Dr. Sagai, just on that front, I know people in the college community, broader community, are probably interested in exactly where we stand with the 2 contracts that are outstanding. You want to just give a little overview? I know we're, permanent president will help move that along, but just where we are in terms of that.
Absolutely. So we started the negotiation conversation with the Faculty Federation. We have not entered in any negotiation discussion with AAECC. Certainly that will be to follow. But we are talking about items that we want to talk with the Faculty Federation. So we're just in the early stage of it to do a discussion.
Okay. That will be picking up steam this year, for sure.
Yes.
Let's see. Technology. Carrie?
I could say ditto about the strategic that I just did on strategic planning. We had to move the meeting because we had some conflicts with the presidential search meetings that we were conducting last month. So we don't have anything to report, but we will at the next board meeting. I think our meeting is scheduled for the 12th at noon.
Dr. Sagai, any words on the whole workday situation in terms of how things are working?
Certainly we'll have a lot more detail during our next board meeting, but certainly everything is moving along. Part of the work is really going back and discovering some of the things that we did and some of the way it was designed. So a lot of back work and trying to really understand that, but we'll certainly will have a lot more details to update the board as to the status of this. But a lot of work has been going on since the last conversation about Workday.
Very good, and thank you, Carrie. As far as my report, I talked about the most significant aspect of it being the search and all things related to that for the permanent president. But several other things have been going on as well. Briefly, I continue to maintain my regular meetings, almost a daily conversation with Dr. Sagai and others, but certainly weekly and then usually daily with the two of us, talking about things affecting the college and the board and what's going on, just the typical meetings that a board chair undertakes. One important meeting each month is that Dr. Sagai and I go over to the 16th floor and meet with the county executive and his chief of staff to continue to coordinate with them on exactly what is happening with the college, various initiatives. Of course, now we have the stadium construction that adds a new layer of discussion to that. And we have our next meeting on, I believe, Monday for that. Those have been very productive, and I think that's a very good channel of communications that continues to go on and be valued by all of us. I did go to the convocation, which is, I always say graduation is my favorite day of the calendar, which will always be true. But convocation is right up there, and that's the start of the new semester, and we have that in the winter as well. It's just a good day. People are really out there. We were in the cafeteria, the food service area at North, and just getting fired up for the new semester. And then breakout sessions, the faculty was very engaged. People were meeting collectively and hearing from folks. Jeff Swiatek spoke about, as a lawyer, about workplace behavior, workplace procedures and things, trying to make sure that we stay properly focused on maintaining the right workplace environment for everyone. And it went on from there with breakout sessions where various aspects of the college were discussed by smaller groups of faculty members and others. So I just thought that was a very good morning and actually day. So congratulations, Dr. Sagai, on putting that together. You'll have a chance in your report to comment on that and any other aspects of it. In a similar vein, I was just a day or two ago out at the scholarship breakfast, and Jenna, just an early heads up, I'm coming to you next because the next couple of events tie together. The scholarship breakfast was really great. I'm going to let Jenna report because she was central to organizing it and implementing and running that meeting. But it was terrific. Wester was the sponsor, the presenting sponsor, and both Scott Beeler and Jay Galligan were there. And I got a chance to talk to both with them and their team, Dave and others. So, they were front and center, and Scott was taking a lot of pictures with a lot of students who got money from him, which was great to see. Jenna was introduced as the new executive director of the foundation, and really just a completely positive event. So, Jenna, I'll ask you, if you wouldn't mind, to just come over to the table and let people know your background and what's happened, how you got connected with the foundation, and then talk a little bit about the scholarship breakfast and, of course, the upcoming gala. Okay, Jenna Bickler.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here. For those of you I haven't met, Jenna Bickler, so nice to meet you all. Make sure to stop and say hello afterwards if I haven't had the opportunity to introduce myself. Thank you for the kind words about the scholarship luncheon. It was an incredible event. Our scholarship recipients get to meet our donors, many of them connected specifically to the donor who has donated for their scholarship. So a great opportunity to bring them together with many of our representatives from the college. Really kudos to my team who put it together. They were really integral in making it a phenomenal event, and to the college culinary department who supports us as well. So thank you, and thank you to Dr. Sagai and our board member Paul Lamano, who helped me up front hand out the scholarships. We increased our attendance this year, so we were really excited about that. And we have some gorgeous pictures that you'll be seeing. So thank you to our marketing team that was there to help as well. A phenomenal event. Not your favorite, but one of my favorite. So thank you for that.
our next upcoming event is the gala. We are so excited. It's November 2nd at the Powerhouse. It's a jazz theme, an opportunity to bring together our internal and external stakeholders to celebrate the college and the foundation, and really to reintroduce who we are and what we're doing. So if you are available to attend or have anyone who would like to come, the tickets are available. You can reach out to me. I'd be happy to give you more information about that. So that's November 2nd, 6 to 9 at the Powerhouse. And quickly about me, I am beyond thrilled to be here. I actually started my career at ECC as an adjunct at the South Campus. It was an incredible experience. I moved from Orchard Park, so it was a little challenging to get down there. So I haven't been in some time, but I was in higher ed and in nonprofit, government, law, human services, and a bit of everything. I have an eclectic background, and my LinkedIn is robust, so you can certainly look me up to see all of the details. I'm here now because I have a very, very deep passion for this college and the work that we do and what the foundation does for the students. We have an amazing team, I have an amazing board, and the foundation is really excited to be continuing to partner with the college to move forward. It's an amazing time to be here. And I've met incredible people here. So I am really passionate and really excited to be here. I look forward to continuing to work with everyone here and to be a part of the next phase of what the college does and the impact it has on this community.
Jenna, thank you, and welcome, to the whole ECC family here. We're really delighted that you're in the position you're in, that you've chosen to join us, and I think the future is very bright as we coordinate between the broader college board and the foundation board. Speaking of which, I just want to give a shout out to Board Chair Mark Gollin, who not only has done a very good job of taking a look at that foundation and trying to imagine post-COVID what it can do. And part of that has been identifying the right executive director in Jenna. But it's not just that. Mark's a ECC graduate and a very enthusiastic one. So I think what's happening here is we're gathering together some people who are really enthusiastic at various levels about ECC, its past, its present, and its future. So Jenna, you're a big part of that. And Mark, I want to compliment him and his team on the process that led to you being hired. And also identify that one of the things that we're going to do, Mark and I are coordinating closely on this right now, is identify one of our trustees to actually sit on the foundation board, as has been the tradition. But since Susan Swartz left the board, that has been vacant. But we're, I've talked to Mark about that, and I expect that to happen very soon. And that will provide also an additional means of communication and coordination between the two groups. Dr. Sky, anything you want to add on foundation matters, or Jenna?
Again, just to echo, it was an incredible time with the scholarship. As you know, that's all about our students, and to see our students and their families, right? It was an incredible experience. So thank you for all the work that the foundation is doing, and certainly we'll continue the partnerships. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. And the last thing I just want to make mention of, thanks, Jenna, is tomorrow night there's an exciting event at Northland. I am planning to attend, and I think one or two other trustees may be there as well. Dr. Sagai will be there, and that is I think it's the 5th anniversary celebration of Northland as a concept. And it should be quite a lovely evening on Friday. So maybe I'll end there my report, turn it over to you, Dr. Sagai, for your monthly, and then we'll move to Student and College Senate.
Sure. So a couple of things with that. I know Jeff mentioned a lot of the things that both of myself and Jeff have been participating. So obviously the in-service, the first day of classes was impacted by that. One of the things that we did was give everyone a T-shirt that has the college's logo on it. I think part of it is creating pride, and certainly all of us are proud of our college, but we want to not only wear it at the college, but wear it outside. Today, our model is Adrian Rannick is the one who's wearing the T-shirt, and so you'll see us doing more of that, because I think it's very critical that we represent. And I know all of us know either our families or our friends or cousins or neighbors have been to SUNY area, and so that is our effort, is to really highlight that as we really truly impact the community. And I always say, look at me, I started as SUNY.
Can I still put a tie on with it?
Absolutely. I think so, Jeff. You got it too, and all the board members have the T-shirt too. If not, we'll definitely give you that as well. I want to start out with really getting Colleen Reedy, as we say, student first, a student focus. So I wanted to bring Colleen Reedy to talk about what we're doing as far as students.
Thanks, Dr. Sadai.
Absolutely.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So the best news I have is that our students are back in full force for the fall. And it's been a great start of the semester for our students and all of us who have the honor and privilege to work with them. So I'll just highlight a couple events that we had and then something coming up. At the end of August, for the first time in several years, we had in-person new student welcome events, and this enhanced our already online orientation that we have. Hundreds of students attended at our 3 campuses, 3 different days in a row, where they met faculty, staff, fellow students, heard about, again, the services we have. We know that if we connect with our students early and often, they are much more likely to persist. So it was extremely successful. Like I said, hundreds of new students and parents and guardians. We had some workshops for parents and guardians as well. We did a lot of information for the students, hosted by all of us. And then we brought in later DJ. We had a guest speaker from the community, DJ, she's coming back actually from WBLK. Just a very exciting and informational event for our students. So we were thrilled to have it. We'll be tweaking it and continuing those kind of events for our new students. Next week, I'd like
to add, if I may add on
please.
the orientation, it was very critical that we are very consistent. So the orientation happened across the 3 campuses. So we wanted to make sure that happened. But in addition to that, we also have orientation at the extension site. So we have Northland as an extension site, Northtown, Westhurst. So we also have orientation at those sites, including inviting the families of our students. So it is really critical that we have that distributed across all where our students are receiving their learning opportunities. So just wanted to put that out there.
Absolutely. So as you know, we are laser focused on our students. So next week we have a very exciting event, and I'm going to ask Principal Counselor Kimberly Cruel to come in and talk about next week's event coming up. Kim, if I may. Let's see. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So I'm here to talk about the student conference that's scheduled next Wednesday, October 4th from 10 to 2 at North Campus. There'll be workshops offered from 10 to 2 throughout the day on campus as well as virtually for our online students. It's really a collaborative event with counselors, with student affairs, student activities, academics, marketing, IT. The workshops that are going to be scheduled are facilitated by members of our internal staff and community. ITS is doing a collaboration with their advisory council member who's going to be facilitating. Jennifer Sciandra from one of our academic departments is going to be interacting with her students and having them help her facilitate to our students as well. So we're thankful for everyone's support. We look forward to the day and hope everyone enjoys.
So I want to take the time to really thank Kim and the staff that has been doing this. This is what, our 3rd year?
This will be our second
year?
The last one was in spring 22. Our numbers have increased, so we've tripled the registration. So when I last looked today, we're close to 160 students registered to attend. Students and transportation will be available, so we're tracking that as well. So we're, again, hoping that it's very inclusive, very engaging for our students. We want to help promote their personal, professional, and student development.
And Kim, if I may, who is our guest speakers?
And our keynote speaker is going to be Adriana Viverette from WBLK. She's a huge stakeholder in the community, makes impacts all across our Western New York area. And Dr. Kyle Stokes will be our welcome keynote, an alumni of the college and very well respected at the college by students and faculty.
And so this goes alongside that whole idea of retention is a new enrollment. is that we are seeing a positive trend from a new perspective for the fall semester, but we are, challenged with our continuing retention. And so part of our effort is really to create a very engaging experience for our students, both in and outside the classroom. And the way to do that, as you know, is really from that beginning, which, starting with admission process all the way to that orientation. But then when they come here, how do we do that? Our students are very busy, and I know Cameron is going to talk about that a little bit, but how do we do things so that it's really incorporating that outside experience so that students are not only just engaged academically in the classroom, but outside the classroom. Part of the conference is also wellness, right? So part of what we want to do is make sure that we also talk about wellness in a broader sense. So to make sure that the food insecurity, mental health, all of those things are being addressed during this conference. So for us, it's really engaging students at this level so that we retain our students to a point of graduation. So that is really a big part of our student plan that we talked about. So this is one of the things that we are really putting together as a college. So thank you to Kim and the team that has been working on this conference. So thank you.
Yes, there is also tabling, so feed more crisis service.
That's right.
So there'll be
That's
some
right.
external partners there as well.
That's right. That's right. Not sure anybody, any questions for Kim?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Kim, for being here. Yep.
And the second part of this, part of my report is Kathy Kolesko to talk about, as you know, for us to be a healthy college, we have to be mindful and be very deliberate about our finance. We need to be able to make sure that we're able to stay in our college so that we give our students the best experience possible. And how do we do that? Yes, we do get funding, we do have tuition, but part of it is being responsible to how we want to make sure that we get other resources to support. So we have some wonderful news for you that I would like for Kathy Kolesko to talk about diversification of our funding sources. It's okay. You could say.
So I'm very happy to announce that the Title III grant that we sought, we received notification yesterday that we were awarded the Title III Strengthen Institutions Program grant in the amount of $2,218,470 for the next 5 years of programming. The program is entitled Improving Students' Ability to Start Here and Go Anywhere, and it is a product of decades worth of faculty work, and I could not be happier to announce that to you. I wanted to also share some additional grant information with you all so that you could have an idea of the work that has been going on under the leadership of Dr. Adiyam Sagai. That grant would not have been possible without her. So we have in our foundational principle, institutional sustainability. So in front of you, I am presenting to you with our first foundational principle report for 9/28/23. And I'm informing you that we have a SUNY High Needs Micro-Credential Grant in the amount of $36,500. That is for advertisement of our micro-credentials, improvement of the student application for micro-credentials, and a landing page for the website. I'm going to skip the second and third lines and talk about the next, the fourth and fifth. So Perkins 5, career and technical programs, $1 million. That's the first time we've been over $1 million in quite a number of years. And that helps the economic development and upward mobility for our students. A workforce development training grant that we applied for just last month, we received $150,000 for a SUNY Erie in-demand construction and building trades fundamentals program that we are developing with our building management and maintenance department, which is under the direction of Andy Sacco. And that is $150,000 with partnership throughout the community. In addition, I'm sure you are all aware of the SUNY Transformation Fund. I wanted to take a moment to talk about the alignment of the SUNY Erie Transformation Fund and the importance of our participation and the way in which we wrote our application to that. Now, all SUNY schools were given a budgetary allotment of that fund from Kathy Hochul, our governor. But SUNY Erie is one of the only community colleges within the Western New York region who participated in the ASAP program, and that is the Accelerated Study and Associate Programs. which is a CUNY initiative that really focuses on student success in academic programs. That allowed us to partner with Buff State and the University at Buffalo. $1,167,000 over the next 3 years will be used to replicate that very successful model with our students here at SUNY Erie. That program has an 85% retention rate. If you remember, we have a 16.2% retention rate. So that is a very robust program. We have a 150 student cohort that will begin with that project. And I wanted to save that one because it fully aligned with that Title III grant that we sent. So when we proposed our Title III grant, I had learned about the ASAP model, and we built that Title III grant in alignment with this ASAP project. And it just so happened that Chancellor King is a huge proponent of that project, and so now we have a total of $3.3 million really focused on student success over the same kind of support system and mechanism that the SUNY-wide system is utilizing. And then additionally, I'm going to probably let Dr. Sagai speak about this one, but Northland's Workforce Training and ourselves partnered on a New York State Power Authority grant. It was received an amount of $1,174,000 for an automotive service technician program that will be taking place at Northland's Workforce Training Center.
Wow, I say.
Amazing.
Wow. Kathy, Dr.
Yes,
Sagai.
Richard.
Dan, we got you a headline, right? Yeah. Oh, sorry. Perfect.
So I wanted to just mention that Title III, the Title III grant is a huge accomplishment for the college. It is a federal grant, one which could not have been achieved without the support and the work of our faculty that went into countless hours. I don't even know how many hours of committee meetings and task force meetings they had to bring together ideas for improving their classroom experiences for our students, including the reduction of our cap sizes in our English gatekeeper courses and our math gatekeeper courses. So we will be seeing changes in our student class sizes as early as spring. And so when I informed AVP Rannick of this, he said, "Oh, my work just got a lot more complicated." So we are excited, and really without that faculty work and the work that they've been doing behind the scenes and in the trenches every day, this would not have been possible.
Yes, Adrian, Colleen and Andy are not here, but as a faculty member and representative of the faculty, Erickson in the past, please convey the board's gratitude to everyone you're speaking with on the faculty about this. Colleen, pardon me. I wish Colleen were here. Yeah, it's just one of the first things. One of the first things that's a challenge with this grant situation that we're talking about is making sure you can keep it all straight. Janet, you've got the sheet, and I'm glad you do, because one of my first questions was when the Title III question was announced to me yesterday. I said, "Is that the Perkins money?" Oh no, it isn't. We've got layers of grant funding here that's been well explained by Kathy. Janet, I would just hope that you could just get with Kathy and just continue to focus on this, because it's just a wonderful moment for the college to know that we can, the things that we care so much about, student retention, really. You're about to do an article on retention being the new enrollment, and we'll talk a little bit about that, and Erickson will have a minute, but this just lies so perfectly next to that, and will make that possible and so much better. So this is really exciting. Great report. Dr. Sagai, do you want to put
Sure, absolutely. So I think part of it is that, number one, I want to thank the chancellor and the governor and the chancellor for the commitment and the support for SUNY schools, especially community colleges. This is huge, right? It's not about just access, but what happens to our students once they come into our colleges, and then what does that look like? We know that continuing education is part of our new way of operating, so how do we do that? And this funding does help us with this. The other thing I want to point out, this is not just in the classroom, but also outside. This is also committing to wraparound services, because we know our students are coming with a lot lot more social issues that we have to grapple with, but how do we do that and have our students still stay and balance that? So I think it's important to do that. For us, I think it's critical to tie this to our strategic plan. We can't just do things outside, right? How do we do that? And that's what we did. Trustee Philippi, you'll see that it's really connected to the strategic plan to make sure that we're staying. Then the other piece is outcome. It's one thing to have funding, but we need to be able to produce outcome. And I hear that from the Chancellor. I think that's one of the common things, is that we need to be able to produce outcome. We're providing funding, but what does that look like and what does that experience look like? So we have a robust way to capture the data and to make sure that we are seeing that with the students' experience, but then ultimately when they leave our college, what does that look like? Area where I think we're going to focus this, Trustee Candace, is really in the curriculum, is where we're going to have a regular update as to what this means. Because in the past, we did have, grant at the college, but where we did not do a good job in is really tracking it and really seeing where things. So I think for us, we really have to be very deliberate. And so we have a roadmap on how we want to make sure that we do that. Then again, in the budget committee, we'll talk about this to see how this is really impacting financially. Like I started earlier, without the appropriate financial health, we will be in trouble, right? That's no new to anybody. That's not a new news to higher ed. But how do we do that and not compromise the student experience and the student learning outcome that we need to do? So with that, I am very grateful for Kathy's leadership. Obviously, this takes a lot of effort. This takes everyone to do this, including those individuals that are not sitting here with us. Yes. They're in the classroom, they're meeting with our students, they're doing the facility work. This is really ground up effort that we've been focusing on and making sure that everyone is impacted by it, either directly or indirectly. So again, we will be continuously reporting to the board as to our outcome and the progress on these grants to make sure that we're staying on track. So
very exciting. I would like to, Colleen, if I may, just the faculty has been mentioned a number of times here as part of this. As a leader in the faculty and leader of our Senate, would you mind commenting on this whole situation and giving us your comment?
Sure. Our senior executive staff members have regularly leaned on some of our faculty to help write many of these different grants. So faculty have been involved throughout the process, which has been really, great to see, and being able to lend our expertise in the different areas to help gain these, very prestigious grants and money to help our students. Because as Adiam has said, and as well as others, that retention is the new enrollment, and these particular initiatives will help us with that. So it's very exciting.
Thank you. Thanks again to all of us. Given the significance of this, I just want each trustee to have a chance to comment. Carrie, you want to?
I know that a lot of work went into this, and just we're very proud of you, and thank you everybody for all the hard work. And it's really heartening to see us going in this, very positive direction.
I agree with the amount of work, but it's also great to have a positive update like this, and it feels very exciting. The room feels a little bit exciting, so I'm pleased. Yeah.
Great programs, and producing close to $6 million on this list here is a great achievement. Thank you.
Thank you.
As a student, I think it's very great that there's various opportunities education, and the faculty's there to support the students every way. So appreciate that. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing.
First, congratulations.
Thank you.
And second, this is just a great signal to the community that we are on the move, and we are focused on student success, and we are going beyond the call of duty to get the resources we need to make this experience happen for the students that come here. So this is thrilling. It's just a great day.
Congratulations again on all of this work that's gone into this, and this is a great achievement. It shows how much everyone had been working together. Like you said, even those individuals who aren't here, maybe they're watching online. This is what you did. You did this for your students, and that's SUNY Erie.
Thank you.
Very exciting. Thank you.
That note, that concludes my report.
Great place to end it.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Let me next ask Cameron to share with us his thoughts from the perspective of a student trustee.
So over the past month, or September at least, we had a welcome back bash at all 3 campuses and had over 800 students attend. And then next month, October, I believe it's the 4th, we have a Think Pink event supporting breast cancer awareness. And then we had a club fair this week with over 100 new students that registered for clubs. So, and then we also have happening in October is Hispanic Heritage Month. So we'll have events happening as far as like salsa dancing and bands and stuff to celebrate the culture. And then just coming up in October, we have a fall festival, and then a couple other events that are a little to be determined. We have a wellness day in a collaboration with athletics.
Nice.
And then just a couple items that, you know, was expressed by the students. The students love using SUNY Erie's libraries and facilities, and they would just like longer hours for the libraries. And then one last thing, we appreciate the nurse who sees all 3 campuses, but honestly, I think it would be ideal if there was a healthcare professional at every campus for students, just for the safety aspect. So I'd like to conclude my report there.
Okay. Thanks, Cameron. That's perfect in terms of conveying what's on the mind of the students right here to the board and to the officer in charge and the senior leadership. All right. Colleen, thanks for commenting earlier, and now Senate report. Joyce? Thanks.
Good morning and hello again.
Good morning.
Hello.
So College Senate met in September for our, not actually our first of the academic year, our first was in June. We start our academic year with College Senate in June through May of '24. So it was technically our second meeting, but the first of the fall semester, right before 3rd week rosters were submitted. And you know, it's always tough where everyone's coming in from summer. We're trying to remember, you know, how to get back into the flow of, you know, back to work and with our students and adjusting because drop ad is just ending and all of the different things. So we kind of joke that we are brushing off the dust as we start back fresh with our students. But in June, in time for the September meeting, we updated our bylaws, which was helpful as it lent a piece of evidence for the July submission of our one of our middle stage reports. Jenna from the foundation joined us to talk to College Senate about the gala in November, and that was nice for everyone to see a face with the emails that we get, so that was nice. Jenna's going to be joining us for future College Senate meetings as well, because she's also one of our liaisons to College Senate. But we had a lot of general announcements, some of them that you've heard today, but SNAP benefits, for example, is coming onto campus for our students to help them register if they qualify for benefits. We're going to be having flu shot clinics, and then through our Deans of Students office, we are going to be having QPR training, which is question, persuade, and refer, which is training for that's going to be free for our faculty to work with our students through SUNY and our Deans of Students because it is Suicide Awareness Month for September. So that is a really nice resource that our faculty can be part of. So a lot of information has gone out with that. We heard from Steve Mullen about some of the volleyball and the breast cancer awareness activities that are going to be down at City Campus. So that's really fun stuff as well. And some of those reports came out of a new portion of College Senate that we're calling our town hall meeting. So that's where we're at the end of official Senate business. We kind of have anyone that has questions or different concerns that they have heard that we can then do research between meetings, and then we put them on the agenda for the following meeting to address different things like that. So we also, speaking of the sign that Jeff mentioned out front, how nice it is, I noticed on my way in about 7.5-week courses and how they're going to be beginning in October. So one of our faculty members, Dave Uzinski, in the math department at City Campus has been instrumental in identifying courses for 7.5-week courses, and we're still, you know, looking for
sequenced courses through the different programs of the college to help make that more of a robust program. So for example, any student that may not have attended for the first 3 weeks of the semester, we can encourage them to take classes during that second portion of the 7.5-week courses that starts at the end of October. So that's an option for them if they still want to attend ECC, but they couldn't quite get there for that September start. So with 3-week rosters, we're actually going to be looking at that further with the Academic Standards Committee of the College Senate, as well as a couple of other policies that we are looking to update over the summer, again with students and student focus in mind, with our academic forgiveness policy and policies regarding student dismissals and probation, making sure that it's easier for our students, that we are aligned with SUNY across the board, and that our standards aren't any more difficult than other institutions. So Melody's not here, but as we see with the different policies, we're constantly reviewing them and then pushing them through to the board policy committee, because we want to make sure that we are up to date, we're relevant, and that they are green and in line with what SUNY's doing across the board. Our next College Senate meeting is October 10th. And we'll be well into our semester then, but right on the cusp of midterms, because it's just constantly rolling, you know. So we're looking forward to that, and everyone is, of course, welcome to attend. We'll be in B207 at 2:30, and it's also going to be live on the stream. So October 10th.
Thanks, Colleen, and congratulations on your re-election.
Thank you. Another 2 years.
You're providing great leadership in the Senate. We appreciate it.
Yes, no, my pleasure. I do the debate, should I not? And then with the transition, with a new president coming in, and that was something that I talked to Andy Sacco, our FFECC president, as well. Like, what do we think? And to try to make sure that we maintain consistent leadership while the college goes through different transitions. So I said, all right, 2 more years, and then I'm going to pass the baton. So we'll see if I'm going to say the same thing again in 2 years.
We won't hold you to
That's the plan for now.
You run a great meeting. That's good. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right. Any old business that anyone wants to bring up? Any new business? We don't have a need for an executive session today. So, with the announcement that our next meeting is October 26th here at 9 a.m., I'll take a motion to adjourn our meeting.
I would just like to point out the next day is my birthday, 27th.
All right. Alert the culinary folks.
There we go. All right.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Thank you.
Melody's not here to see this.
I would say,
Somebody send her a
someone
text.
text her. Thank you, Lord.
Show